What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the great man Sauce. How you going, brother?
I'm good, mate. I'm up and about. Of course, had to wear the Essendon scarf Thursday night. Got the chocolates. It was ugly. Let's just say that. It was very, very ugly. We'll talk about it when we get to AFL. But I'm all right. Essendon won. Arsenal lost 1-0 to PSG. We'll talk about that in a little bit. A little bit of worrying signs, if you ask me. But it's been a big week in sport. We've obviously
Huge week.
got the AFL and NBA playoffs is in full force. The Lakers got bounced since last week's show, so they're one and done. What ended up coming back to bite us, Dom, is when you're relying on Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent coming off the bench as your fucking bench, that's will probably cook any team if you ask me. So Lakers, you need to find some reinforcements on the bench.
What was LeBron's comment about the center? They needed a center or something?
No, he didn't want to comment on it because the last time someone commented on something, they ended up getting traded that week. So it was talking about AD. So he ended up just saying no comment. Which LeBron, come on, brother, you know you're the GM. You made the Luka trade, LeBron. So you're the GM down there.
I mean, typical LeBron fashion. He's like, I'm not going to comment on my retirement when I'm finishing. Or he has to always make it all about him. Like,
he's not retiring, ladies and gentlemen.
Just come out and say, we're fucking shit. We made the blockbuster trade, but we need extra pieces. We're lucky that we got even this far. That's all you have to say. That's it. Just say we achieved really great things getting Luka, and we look to build on our next season, hopefully come out and win the title. What do you have to say? Fuck. Just always deflection of comments.
The deflection. Yeah. Oh, he does do it.
And Ant-Man just dominated anyway that series. He didn't, in the closeout game, he wasn't the best, but he did enough, mate. That's all that matters. So fuck. The other series, obviously, Golden State get the win against the Rockets to advance. They were very good, actually. So
he's got a hoodoo over the Rockets. Does Curry? I think he's what's his fourth or fifth series win in Houston over his time, or third. I think it might have been third or fourth, maybe fifth. Series wins over his time that he's had in Houston, so he absolutely owns that franchise. Let's not beat around the bush. He dominates the Rockets. The history tells us so, and he did again. Did Curry in Game 7? Didn't have the best first half dollar, but I think he ended up firing up in the fourth quarter when it matters. And I think he scored 14 points or something like that in the fourth quarter.
A big fat fucking donut.
Yeah, big fat donut in the fourth. Game 5 and Game 6 wasn't much better.
It was stink
when we got bounced. So, look.
It set up some very good series too, as well, coming up.
It has.
So, it set up, Cavs Pacers are being set up, and Pacers took Game 1 Source, which is massive. So they win that by 9.
Game 1, yep. You need a pinch one there, obviously, in Cleveland. They've got the 3 games at home, but this now switches it the home court advantage to Pacers. Garland was out, so I don't know if he's going to be back for Game 2, but obviously a notable omission, and they need him if they are to have any chance to win the title. They obviously need him fit and firing. But if he isn't, I think their chances are, although I thought they were a little bit slim just because of their lack of size, but I think, if Garland can't get up, then I think it's going to be very hard. And
all 3 series were all upsets in Game 1. So the other one, the Nuggets, off an Aaron Gordon game winner, beat the Thunder on their home floor, 121-19. So
crazy finish that, Doma, because OKC should have knocked down their free throws. They let them stay in the game, and they got burnt at the end. Russell Westbrook makes the match-winning play, passes it out. Aaron Gordon knocks down the 3 takes it home, still game one. It was a great matchup. I think Jokic had 42 points. I think I seen Doma. And
I'll double check that.
6 assists.
39. Sorry. Wrong. 42, 22 boards and 6
Yeah,
assists.
there you go. Ridiculous. And yeah, I think he had a point to prove. Jokic. He wants to say, "Hey, I want 3-time MVP. You shouldn't be giving that MVP to SGA." But yeah, look, that's going to be a great series. OKC have, obviously a team to run with Denver. I think that could definitely go 7 games. It's going to be a cracker. I don't know who's going to win that series. It's a bit hard to tell. Like I can't, is OKC, is this their time now, or is the championship, caliber of Denver going to be too much for OKC? And, are they just going to know what needs to be done in the playoffs? They've been there, done that, and it always counts for something going forward, Doma. So,
100%.
yeah, it'll be an interesting one. It'll be an interesting one. I'll probably I want OKC to win because obviously SGA being one of my favorite guys, but I genuinely think that Denver will win it, especially now that they've pinched that game. But I think Denver can win it, and it just shows they can win it there. They can win a game there in OKC. So, it doesn't really matter. Even if OKC gets that one back, they could still, if it does go to a game 7, they could win it in game 7. So we've seen game 7, home court or no home court. It means absolutely nothing. It's game 7. It's a different ball game. So,
yeah, 100%. I completely agree with you. I think the same mindset as you with Denver. I think they can win that series. I'm going to still back in OKC. I'm hoping they can get it done. Young team, like to see them advance. And then, sorry, the last series that was playing out today, Golden State play the Timberwolves tomorrow in game 1, but the other Eastern Conference series is the New York Knicks. We bagged the preseason review with their odds to win the East. Steal game 1 in Boston. Now, I think Kristaps Porzingis got injured in this game. Played 13 minutes, had donuts for points.
And by steal, that is genuinely a steal, Doma, because they were up 20 points going into that. At one point during the third quarter, they're up 20 points. They should have definitely closed it out, but they didn't. I'm trying to Eastern Conference winner. Here we go.
What is it?
They're $8 odds for Eastern Conference winner. I don't know if that's legit odds or what's the go here.
Unbelievable, but they get the job done. It's just ridiculous. So, yeah, well, if Porzingis goes down, it just puts more strain on that team.
It was an interesting matchup. I mean, Brunson struggled in the first half, but then came alive in the second half. Maybe could I have underestimated the Knicks? I don't know, because Boston was really, really, really far in front in this game. They should have never allowed them to come back and pinch it. It was probably disappointing, if you're Boston, you're disappointed to take that loss because you were up so much. And seeing that, I mean, they're probably thinking they know that they can, beat down them. Obviously, they got to keep the momentum going throughout the game. They can't sort of waver off, and they did today, and they got caught out. But I still see Boston winning that series.
Yeah,
I still see Boston winning that series. But the way Knicks played today definitely could go to 7 games for sure. So, yeah, look, I still like Boston overall in 7 games, but it's going to be a great series. It's going to be a cracker. I just hope there's no more injuries so we can obviously see the full
full squads,
full teams in there. Jaylen Brown, there is words that he's playing a little bit injured and he might not be at 100%, although he played okay today. Celtics, 45 missed frees today, Dom. 45, 46 missed frees. They're taking way too many. Just way too many. It looks great when they go down, Domo, don't get me wrong. But in a playoff game, tight game, you need to get to the ring and force the issue. So
we use Tatum, mate. That's what he's good at. So
yeah, less threes for me from the Celtics.
Beautiful. Well, that's it for the NBA. Sure, it's going to get very interesting in the next week or so anyway. So we'll cover that again on next week's show. Let's go through to the AFL on a round 8 review. And it started on, Thursday night between the Bombers and the Kangas, mate. What was game of the year, if you ask people, mainly me. Your thoughts?
So first thought is obviously go the Dons. It was good to get the win. It was probably, sat down in my seat, in my reserved seat, and it's just a guy who, so I only see him at the footy, sits next to me. He says, "What do you think about today?" And I turned to him with a straight face and I said, "We are going to win, 100% confident." And that was what came out of my mouth before the first ball was bounced. I was 100% confident we were going to win. We held there on just in the end, 3 or 4 points.
3 points.
We were down to 1 on the bench. It was a bit of a gutsy win, if you ask me, from Essendon, because we copped injuries. We had adversity, and then we had Zach Merritt putting on a Superman cape and just taking over the game in the fourth quarter. But overall, it affirmed for me that both your side, Doma, and my side are complete rubbish and are going absolutely nowhere this season. Because it was, apart from Essendon's first 20 minutes of the game where we looked fucking phenomenal and we're hitting targets left, right, and center, and we kicked 37 points in the first quarter, Dom, and we kicked 28 points for the next 3 quarters. So first quarter was great for Essendon. Third quarter was great for North Melbourne, and everything in between that was fucking shit.
It was rubbish. It was such a hard watch. Oh, it was such a hard watch. Yeah. I got nothing to say. We had the funeral for North Melbourne on this show 2 weeks ago. So, put them to bed two weeks ago. So until they show something, I don't know. It's not looking good at all.
Pressure's on big LDU as well. Some of the mistakes,
woeful.
Some of the mistakes he's been making, you can't be making those mistakes when you're getting paid that big contract. Yeah, you demanded the money, you signed the contract, big boy. Now you got to perform to the contract. That's the pressure you get when you sign that much money. Sorry, Dom, but I'm very critical of Ben Mackay. We put him on big money, and for me, although he held Larky to 1 goal, Larky kicked 2, but 1 goal has nothing to do with Larky. It was another player gave away a free kick. Had nothing to do with Mackay. So he held Larky to 1 goal, even though on the weekend. But I feel for the contract he's getting, he doesn't impact the game enough. Key defender or not, you need to impact the game a bit more. He was doing that last year, the first 12 rounds, where his intercept marks were really good, and he was able to read the play and drift off his player, and he was phenomenal. But we haven't really seen that. And look, when you sign the money, you're always going to cop the critics. So let's hope LDU can step up, because
he needs to turn into LD Sue again. At the moment, he's LD Poo. So you mean no good at all. Anyway, I've got nothing to say. Like I said, we haven't had Magda in the comments in a few weeks, so hopefully he's all right. But I'll be keen to see how he's feeling on the Kangas. But the Friday night game, one of the biggest pretenders is Fremantle. They are shit.
Disgrace.
They lost to the Saints by 61. Rubbish. I'm not even going to get into that game. What's there to say, mate?
You can't, if you actually genuinely want to be considered finals football team. You can't be losing like that to St Kilda. And this has always been the issue with Freo. They travel, and they're always a chance to get beat. You want to be consider yourself a serious finals team. They're the games you need to win for sure. Might not win them. You're not saying you should smash the teams, but you need to come out here and win them. So, look, shocking by Fremantle. I don't read into it on St Kilda's side. We've seen what the week before a serious side will do to them, even at Marvel against Brisbane. So, look, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah. Next one, Dogs beat Port Adelaide by 90 in Ballarat, and I'm gonna come out and say it, Source, and we're only 8 rounds in. I was wrong. The Dogs are gonna make finals. I said they'd miss. They're making finals. Do you know?
I think the Blues. I think you could still be right with the Blues. The Blues could potentially miss.
Do you know why they're going to make finals, though, Source?
Tell me.
Because this is the 10 teams outside the top 8. Fremantle, St Kilda, Essendon, Port, Carlton, Sydney, Melbourne, Richmond, North, and West Coast. All 10 of those teams are absolutely shit.
Sydney, if they had all their players and didn't have all the injuries they would not be shit.
They're missing 8 starting players.
Yes, they are.
But okay, we'll give Sydney then a pass, a benefit of the doubt. But the 9 other teams there suck. They are horrific.
Yeah.
Not one of those 9 teams is better than GWS, Geelong, Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn, Collingwood, or Brisbane. Gold Coast and Adelaide, jury's still out. Yeah.
Gold Coast, first 5 games they played against the bottom 5 teams of last season. So how much can you read into what good start they did have? They
lost to one of them.
It all started to fall off when they lost to Richmond, and then they had they came up against. Yeah. Well, I mean, they're in the same boat as sort of Fremantle, aren't they? Right? They can be really great at home. We know they're great at home. They haven't lost there in their last 12, 13 games or something. But as soon as they travel, even though it was just down the highway to Brisbane. Sorry. Versus Brisbane. No.
Not down the highway, but
anyway, when they verse Brisbane, they'll get pantsed as well, regardless.
They did play Brisbane this week. They lost.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
just down the highway, mate.
Yeah, they lost by 17.
There you go. They got pants.
Brisbane was all over them though.
But that 17-point scoreline is a lot more flattering than what the game,
rain as well
played out. Yeah,
absolutely pissing down rain. The Crows defeated the Blues by 60 in Adelaide. The Blues went back to their normal self. They played the game of their life against Geelong the week before, and then
suckered everyone in.
Yeah, and it was the good old Blues again this week. And then game of the round was Collingwood versus Geelong on Saturday night at the G. The best fourth quarter team in the Cats come back to defeat the Pies by 3 points, and Paddy Dangerfield dominated.
Say what an absolute disgrace that game was not on free-to-air TV and was pay TV only. Just an absolute disgrace. The fact that there's not one free-to-air on a Saturday anymore
until finals,
that's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's all about money. Always about money, mate. Okay, did you see the Foxtel CEO? He loved it. It's okay. Then it forces people to buy subscriptions. At least we'll see KO subscriptions go through the roof. I don't think people realize how fucking expensive it is for KO. I split it with a family, with one of my mates and my brother-in-law. It's $300 a year, mate, and you've got nothing fucking on there.
You got nothing on there. At least before, they used to have the be-in stations on there. Yeah, they had a bit of European football. Mate, now the only thing that's worth even watching on there is the AFL and the rugby. That's it. That's all you got, the NRL and
Basketball's on there, but mate, if you have a Disney Plus account, I don't know if you realise those gents, but Disney, they put ESPN on your Disney Plus account. So if you go into Disney Plus, you watch NBA games. It's
Oh,
got all
really?
and college games, mate. All the ESPN college football, basketball, NBA games. It's all on Disney Plus. So realistically now, like what are you're watching what for the AFL and NRL? I'm telling you, when fucking Netflix gets the F1 and UFC, KO is going to be cooked because you better be coming up with something, mate. It's going to be like ESPN 8 the Ocho, like in Dodgeball, the movie. They're going to have to actually start showing Dodgeball. Like, yeah, it's pretty poor source. I agree with you.
Jimmy, good to have you in, mate.
Hello, James. The next game, the other Saturday night game was Melbourne versus West Coast. It was close for the first half, and then Melbourne ran away with it. They win by 32. The Sunday games, the Swans defeat the Giants by 14. Gutsy win by the Swans there. Hawthorn slapped the Tigers by 65. Brisbane defeated the Suns by 17. Yeah, not bad. Let's get to our tips, mate, for round 9. Well,
Yeah.
Thursday night football source. We've got Dockers versus Pies in Perth.
Pies.
Yeah,
Apparently they're going to be resting a few players.
Yeah, I heard potentially Pendles and Sidebottom.
Some vets.
This is an interesting game, Friday night. MCG, St Kilda versus Carlton. I might have to tip the Blues this week.
I don't know if I can tip the Saints.
I'm tipping the Blues.
Marvel specialists they are. Carlton. I'm going to tip Carlton. I'm going to go Carlton with you.
All right, Saturday, we've got Melbourne versus Hawthorn at the G.
Hawthorn.
I'm going Hawthorn as well. Essendon versus Sydney, Marvel.
Essendon's copped a few injuries. Ridley out. Harrison Jones out. Our injury list is actually pretty starting to stack up, Doma. So I will lean Sydney.
I'm going Sydney.
Not confident in our ability to put 4 quarters together.
Yeah. The Saturday night games, Gold Coast versus Western Bulldogs in Darwin. I've got to back the Dogs.
That's it's a fair call, but
they look so good at the moment.
Yeah, they do.
The Bonds.
I feel like Gold Coast will be more climatized to the weather. Whether that makes any difference, I'm not sure.
Tip them and see what happens. You tip and find out, mate.
I don't know, bro. I'm going to tip Gold Coast. I'm going to go Gold Coast.
Then we've got the showdown: Port versus Adelaide.
Adelaide.
I'm also going Adelaide. The Sunday games, some blockbusters here: Richmond versus West Coast at the G.
Richmond
as well. Geelong versus GWS at GMHBA. Geelong's had some big games the last few weeks. I'm going the Cats as well. And then 4:40 on Sunday at Ninja Stadium in Hobart. The North Melbourne Kangaroos against the Brisbane Lions. Well, I'm tipping
Brisbane. That's a simple one.
And if it's not 60 points, then I'll be surprised. Anyway, that is AFL done and dusted sauce, and Premier League is done. So we do Champions League on this show at the moment. We'll start with the Barca 3-3 with Inter in what was an absolute cracker. And Lamine Yamal is the best young player on planet Earth and potentially the best player on planet Earth at the moment. The way he's playing.
Dominating. Absolutely dominating. And I mean, if Barcelona does, we spoke about this, does win the Champions League, you'd have to be considered for a Ballon d'Or, potentially.
He probably
It'd be
wins
absolutely, it would be, it would just be hilarious if he wins it and before Mbappe. It would just be hilarious, if you ask me.
I still think Mbappe probably should have won it the year that he won the World Cup, but anyway.
Who won it?
I'm going to just say Messi.
Was it Modric? Was that it that year?
Maybe.
2018, he won the World Cup.
Luka Modric.
There you go. Yeah, there's that for football knowledge. Inter Barcelona tomorrow, 5 a.m. It's going to be an absolute cracker. First game was a belter. I'm gonna lean for Inter. It just shows you that they can obviously they know that they can score on Barca. They know they've got it in the locker, and they're at home. They're at the San Siro, so why not? Why not believe?
Going Inter, that's good.
I'm going to go Inter.
I reckon Yamal wins it for Barca.
If there's one team that could to lock it down defensively, it's Inter Milan.
Yeah, I think Barca's. I think, in all honesty, either Barca or Inter win the whole thing personally, but I'm backing Barcelona in this one. And then in the second matchup, we've got the Gunners. They lost 1-0 to PSG. Thoughts? You said you needed to have a couple goals going in, mate, to the second leg, and you're down.
A few things. The atmosphere at the Emirates Stadium was fucking shit. It's going to be much more difficult at the Parc de France in Paris. Shocking from Arsenal. Thomas Partey, absolute clown. We missed him in the midfield. Got a silly yellow card in that Real Madrid matchup and missed the match. We had to play Marino there, and we had previously been playing Partey with Rice, and Rice in a bit more advanced role, getting forward, and you can take those lung-busting runs out of midfield. He obviously had to sit back a bit more. He had to play the more defensive role with Marino. So, you're forced to play a midfield pair that we hadn't really been playing in the big games. So, look, I'm not saying that we can't come back, but, we need to play a lot better than we did last game. I will say, other than the sort of first 20 minutes, it was mostly Arsenal after that. PSG did probably have one or two other chances. They hit the crossbar, so I will say that definitely was a chance. They had probably like 2 or 3 more chances to maybe score. Arsenal had a few. Donnarumma cracking saves. Like we could have easily had a goal in this game, Doma, if it wasn't for Donnarumma. So, albeit being 1-0 down, it showed me that we can make chances. We just got to finish one off, and anything can happen when it gets to 1-1. So, not all hope lost, but I just hope it's not another typical Arsenal season. I would rather get to the final and lose in the final than lose in the semi-final. But, a typical Arsenal season for me is obviously no major trophy. So I want to win it. You've made it this far. I want to win it. And we managed our players. PSG obviously managed their players on the weekend against Strasbourg, who they versed. I think they ended up losing to them on the weekend, but they rested a whole bunch of their starters. Yeah, they couldn't care. They're that far in front. Arsenal, we lost to Bournemouth, even though we played a strong side, which is disappointing.
Why would you do that?
Don't know. I don't know why we played a strong side. I think we still need to get one win to guarantee a top 4 or something like that.
Did they fucking forget that Liverpool was holding the trophy last week?
Oh yeah, look.
What are they doing?
He played a pretty strong lineup. I don't know why he did that.
What a peanut, mate. Yeah, James says they lost 1-0 and then went and scored and lost on penalties against PSG. So he said, good luck. So can we have a moment's silence for Trent Alexander-Arnold going to Madrid? Now, listen, I've got a different take on this because shout out to the person that actually mentioned this to me, Ben, who you remember jumped on a few watch parties during COVID, Man United supporter. He actually said to me, like, it's expected for Trent Alexander-Arnold because he's from Liverpool, grew up in Liverpool, played for his boyhood club, Liverpool. He goes, he spent his whole life in Liverpool. So for him to go abroad in his soccer horizons, he's going to Real Madrid. If you're going to go anywhere after leaving Liverpool, it's got to be one of the next most famous clubs
exactly.
on the planet.
You either go to Real Madrid or Barcelona.
Yeah, and he won your titles, so you can't be pissed off at him, to be honest. He's not even that good, so who gives a fuck? Like, who cares? I'll take him any day of the week, mate. You can have Dullo. I'll take Trent Alexander-Arnold.
I was going to say, well, you would have rather him over the guys you got at United.
This is the trade for you. We'll give you Luke Shaw. And you give us Trent Alexander-Arnold. And then we trade. Who's some other shit guy on our team? I want Alfredo back. Send him to Fenerbahce and get Alfredo back. I miss him. And get McTominay back.
You got rid of McTominay. He's playing very good for Napoli.
Your best United player won't make the Liverpool bench. You know what? I completely agree. Which is crazy. Anyway, good luck, mate. I hope you can pull through and get the win, mate.
Thank you.
So hopefully you get the job done. And Manuel's in the chat as well.
Welcome, Manny. We'll give it obviously an honourable mention to the Europa League. United's up 3-0 going into the second leg and against Athletic Club. And then Tottenham is up 3-1 against Bodo Glimt in the Europa League, and they're going into their second leg. So we could see a Man United versus Tottenham Europa League final, which
15th versus 16th in the Premier League.
Which, if one of those teams wins, does that mean they're guaranteed a spot into the Champions League next season?
It does.
Tomo, imagine that you finish.
So technically, if we win the Europa League, you and Manny both need to buy me a jersey.
No, because we're going off the Premier League table. You should have said trophies. You should have said trophies, mate.
I should have. Anyway, and we're going to give a moment because the real GOAT, who since leaving Man United has become, he's got to win the Ballon d'Or. Anthony, did you see the goal he scored?
Yes, I did. Belter.
Real Betis has turned into Real Madrid because they've got the true Ronaldo, the GOAT, in Anthony. Oh my gosh. Unbelievable. Anyway, that's the Champions League. And before we go any further, of course, the show is sponsored by the Hobby Hangout XL Trading Card Show, Sunday, 1st of June 2025 at the Melbourne Royal Exhibition Building, 9 Nicholson Street, Carlton, 10:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. You'll find me, you'll find Roaming Source, with a whole big lineup of vendors. We're looking forward to that one. It's coming. It's less than a month away now, Source.
And we smell the Hobby Hangout just around the corner.
There's the new mic.
No, honestly, that's just makeshift. I've just chucked that on there for show.
For entertainment purposes.
Purposes only.
James is coming to the Hobby Hangout, Source.
There we go. Beautiful, Jimmy.
Hopefully the Messiah's there and he can give you the card that he was meant to send to you 12 months ago, mate. He still hasn't sent it to us.
We're going to have to get on his back. That's not good enough. Not good enough. He's still got the card, James, but he's just.
He's still got my David Beckham jersey.
We did tell him to give it to us, and we will post it to you. But he's just a clown. He's just a clown. That's what you get with the Messiah. So hopefully,
David Beckham jersey. He didn't give it to me. No, he forgot.
No, he still got it. He's still got our care package that Manny gave us. It's still with the Messiah.
No,
He's
no,
probably
no.
sold it. He's probably sold it
He
on
gave me.
marketplace at this
No,
point.
he gave me the Sane. So I've got the Sane that Manny sent for me, but he
Yeah.
forgot the jersey.
I forgot the jersey. That's right.
Anyway, Messiah, get your shit sorted. Yeah, all right. F1 Source. Oscar Piastri. Source has got a new slogan for Oscar Piastri. So,
Oscar A. Piastri. You know why A, Doma? Because he's the A driver at McLaren, and that's the way it should be. Because Mr. Lando B. Norris is B driver, and if you want to dispute it, hey,
I'm not
don't have that
disputing
argument.
nothing.
Don't have that argument with me because I'm just going to tell you, Piastri is the better driver, and he's proving that with the way he's managing himself throughout these races and racing. What, he's won three in a row, three races in a row. He's won
Six
four.
Grand Prix career wins for Oscar Piastri.
Yeah.
He now has one more than Lando Norris, who has 5.
Yeah, in 2 seasons of driving.
That is crazy. And you know what the scary thing is, Sauce? Because I looked it up before we jumped on. Oscar Piastri is only 2 Grand Prix wins away from equaling Charles Leclerc, who's only won 8. Someone has to tell Charles that qualifying doesn't count as race wins.
Quality king.
So,
tell me,
insane.
they get the job done. This race, Miami.
They get the job done. It was front line was Norris and Verstappen. Norris poled second fastest. I can't remember. Anyway, off the first turn, it's all about patience, Source. The McLarens are the quickest cars on the track by a country mile. Anyway, he forced the issue. Verstappen pushed him off the track. He ends up ending mid-pack in 6th. He's playing catch-up for half the race. Piastri's got clean air and he's just burning everyone. So that was literally the story of the race. It's all about patience. Like, you don't need to keep bringing up all these rivalries with past incidents with Verstappen. You know what he's like, right? He's a nutcase. So you just got to do the right thing. Just imagine him and Verstappen crash. Just a bit like Lewis Hamilton at that Azerbaijan Grand Prix Source. Force the issue. And you get no points. Imagine you walk away with no points. So he ends up finishing second. He was 4.5 seconds behind Piastri. His car is the quicker car. He probably wins if he can just bide his time and then overtake Verstappen. Because Piastri was behind Verstappen. And then he overtook him because he was patient. He just ran his race. Patient Piastri, mate. He got the job done. And it was really good to see the Aussie win in the car number 81, which hopefully he'll be the car number 1 in 2026 because the champion gets to take the number 1 if they win the title. So I'd love to see Oscar Piastri McLaren #1 on the helmet. That'll be great to see next year if he can get the job done. It's still early days, but he's, like you said, Source,
he can keep going the way he's
going.
going.
Driving amazing at the moment.
He's genuinely got a chance to win the world title. He actually is right within his.
100% he does. Second was Norris. Russell was third. Verstappen in 4th. Albon in 5th. My boy Antonelli was in 6th. Just a shout out. Good finish for Albon. That's a Williams. So the Williams finishes 5th. That's great to see that they're progressing. They finished above Antonelli, Leclerc in 7th, and Hamilton in 8th. Carlos Sainz in the second Williams car finished 9th, which is great. Sonoda 10th. And then we don't care about anyone else, do we? Jack Doohan, Source, I think he's getting axed.
He's done.
He's done, unfortunately. He had a DNF in this one, but he's done. He's been absolutely woeful. So unfortunate for the young fella, but I think we're going to be down to one Aussie on the track. Yeah. No race this
The way the
week.
sport rolls, isn't it, Dom? If you don't get results or show
Yeah,
improvement, they're quick to move off you.
that's right. No race this week, so we'll preview it next week. Just a quick one. I did see something. Someone posted something and they said, "Is Lewis Hamilton going to be the next Daniel Ricciardo?" Food for thought. So people that listen to this, drop a comment, your food for thought on that. Will Lewis Hamilton be the next Daniel Ricciardo in the sense of had it all at Mercedes, as Daniel did at Red Bull, left for greener pastures in Renault and in Ferrari, and inherited two pieces of shit, both of them, in cars, and
Do you reckon he's regretting his decision at this point?
off every single race. Have you listened to some of the team radio? It's so good. He's like, oh, they're coming on the radio saying, we're going to this tactic. And Lewis is like, I've been telling you to go on that tactic for the last 5 laps. And he's like, we're going to move to this. He's like, yeah, you should have told me 5 laps ago. And then he turns around and goes, go back and have your cup of tea, mate. He just blasts them with the best. It's like, I love to see it because goats, potential goats in sport are at a different level to everyone else. And Lewis Hamilton is showing Ferrari that where your standard was with Michael Schumacher in the early 2000s is not the standard that you're producing in today's modern Formula One. You're so subpar that you need to get on my level. To get on my level is to win a world championship, is what Lewis Hamilton is telling that team. You need to get to me. At the moment, they suck. They absolutely suck. I'm a Ferrari fan.
The big red tractor, mate. The big red tractor, as we've called it.
Oh my gosh, it's so bad.
And it hasn't improved much this season.
Oh, it's poo. Absolute poo. Anyway, that's it for F1.
The only way we're ever going to see a Ferrari win this season is if they somehow pole on Monaco again, where you can't overtake and they win.
Just gotta hope that fucking all other 18 cars crash, and they're the only cars left. But even then, they'll have an engine failure. So, anyway, over to you, Source, for some UFC.
UFC over the past weekend, it was a cracking card. I'll bring up the results. I've got it ready, Domo. UFC, Sandhagen versus Figueiredo. Main event, Corey Sandhagen knocks out Davison Figueiredo. Probably seen that coming. Davison is moved up in a weight division, so it's always going to be more difficult. Knocked out in the second round. Rainier de Ridder knocks out Bo Nickel, which is, not too many people would have seen that coming. Bo Nickel, a short favorite there, as you see. And, he's a hot up-and-comer. So, obviously, put the brakes on the Bo Nickel train. He's going to have to go back, regroup, and come back fighting hungrier than ever. Santiago Ponzinibbio defeated by Daniel Rodriguez, KO in the third round. Montel Jackson defeats Daniel Marcos with a decision over the 3 rounds. Then you had Cameron Smotherman defeated by Siri Sydney with a decision over the 3 rounds. And then you have Jeremy Stevens, defeated by Mason Jones with a decision over the 3 rounds. Then you have, obviously, the prelims. So it was a great card. Some good fights. I only seen a few highlights. I did see that there was a lot of knockouts. I did see the knockout from Reed Derrida on Bo Nickel.
Yeah, so
yeah, look, I can't really comment too much on it. I was a bit busy on Sunday, so I didn't have a chance to tune in. But you will definitely want to tune in this coming week because this Sunday, main event kicking off from 2 p.m., 12 p.m. I should say, and the prelim kicking off from early prelims from 8:30 and the prelims from 10 a.m. It's the main event, Bilal Muhammad against the Aussie Jack Della Maddalena. You heard it right. Bilal Muhammad against Jack Della Maddalena.
nice.
It's going to be a battle of Can Jack Mandolina keep it on the feet? Because if he can, he's going to knock Bilal out. But if he can't, Bilal will wrestle him to the ground and ragdoll him. So let's see which style of the fight wins. So obviously, I'm going to go for Jack Della Mandolina. But look, Bilal, we know what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to take you down, wrestle you, wear you down. Let's see if he can do it. And you got Valentina Shevchenko against Manon Fiorot, who is the favorite. The challenger for the title is the favorite, which is unheard of. And then you got Jose Aldo against Ayem Zabari in the bantamweight. And then you got Alexa Grasso against Natalia Silva in the women's flyweight. And then Benoit Saint Denis against Kyle Prepolik from Canada. And then in the prelims, you got Mike Mellett against Charles Radzik, Jessica Andrade against Jasmine Yazdavichkish from Canada, Monsis Busakakas versus Ian Kutalaba, and then Navajo Sterling against Ivan Ruslan. Navajo Sterling is an absolute beast, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see a knockout in that fight. But it's going to be an absolute belter. UFC 315 kicking off main card from 12 p.m. this weekend, this Sunday. Tune in, ladies and gentlemen, for wherever you watch your UFC stream and check it out. It's going to be an absolute belter.
Massive. All right, Source, hobby talk. Not much happening, but the Hobby Hangout XL trading card show. Once again, tickets you can get in the description of our podcast. So please get onto your tickets nice and early. Don't leave them to the last minute. Just secure them so you can enjoy all the activities on the day. So
venue is much, much bigger than any of the other hobby hangouts. Previous, obviously, got the XL at the end, Hobby Hangout XL. So also stands for extra large. If you're living under a rock or have no idea or never picked up a T-shirt before.
Or a dinger.
We've got the double coverage ones, mate. So we can bring a couple of. They glow in the dark too. But check it out. It's going to be an absolute belter of a show. We'll be down there. We'll have a table. We'll be floating around. We're doing a bit of a roaming source.
Golden's there. Ken Golden's coming. We hope.
Kenny's going to. Hopefully, we'll take him down to. We'll take him down to the links. Take play a round of golf or something.
Yeah. Ken will be here. Director of Assets will be there. Grant from Backyard Breaks will probably be here as well.
Oh.
You're all invited for roaming source. They're on the panel. Anyway, let's get to some good news as well. Obviously, the Hobby Hangout, massive news. It's great. We're looking forward to it. But obviously, the homegrown mate, legend in the hobby, had a surprise release. So these boxes were all sold out in, how long did Tyson say? 1 hour. So what they were mystery packs. So all low-numbered, rare inscriptions, gold 101 autos, no low-end fillers. Each box was 199 USD, so around about 260 Australian. 3 athletes, so 2 basketball, 1 football legend inside, would retail at that price or higher. And Tyson said he wanted to create a release where there's no low-end fillers. So that's awesome. Not sure what's in there, who's in there. You're muted.
I think it's.
Oops.
I think it's made up from 2 basketball and 1 American football. I just can't remember the names.
Yeah.
Of the players.
So no, that's awesome
but
stuff.
Doing things different, doing things his way. Yeah, it makes you wonder, ladies and gentlemen, as we always say, why can't these big companies that have a budget 200x what Tyson has do a better job? Why can't they?
They don't want to. But you know what, Sauce? Who gives a shit? Because Tyson's doing it. So.
Yep.
And we've been saying for 5 years anyway, you should be buying his stuff. So global, welcome.
Go the mighty Dons, Global.
Where's your
Go the
Supercoach
mighty
rank?
Dons.
Global Supercoach rank. You were 600 last week. Where you at? Give us the update, mate. We need to know, Global. Funnily enough, right, so it's this team, the double coverage Supercoach team, that we took the piss.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot to even look at it this week.
Okay.
Right. So the captain was Connor Rosie, scored 78, which is shit. I would have made Zach Merritt captain if I looked at the team, who scored 170, mind you. So we left on the plate probably extra 200 points, and we still scored 2,300.
Not bad.
It outscored,
so you reckon
outscored my Supercoach team.
So is it a viable option to go all premiums in the mid?
Mate, yeah, we're doing it every year. We're struggling now to downgrade and upgrade, but besides the point, doesn't matter. We're fucking struggling to get some money. But we've got Bailey Sniff in the team now. McRae's in the team. Sheasel's in the team. It's not too bad. We've got Max Gawn as well. Tristan Jerry. Max Gawn's averaging like 160 over the last. He's got 200. I'm pretty sure. On the weekend.
Absolutely loaded.
Shit house. That's not good, Global. So, anyway, that's it from us, Source.
Yeah, not a hell of a lot to report on the hobby side. I mean, we are still, seeing dodgy shit on whatnot. I mean, I'll tell you, go follow Rattle Pokemon on YouTube, because the guy has new videos week upon week upon week of people doing dodgy shit on whatnot. So just be careful. We're not saying don't use whatnot. I choose not to use whatnot because I don't want to support a company that has failed to take a tough stance on what Mr. Grant from Backyard did. Obviously, for their own financial gain, they've sort of overlooked it. But it's my choice not to decide to purchase anything on the platform, and that way they don't make any money out of me. You are in control of your hobby experience, ladies and gentlemen. So if you get scammed on whatnot, it's your fault, because we told you there's dodgy people on there. There's dodgy people on Facebook. There's dodgy people on Instagram Live. So either or, you just need to be careful and make sure that you do your research and hopefully have a good experience. So there's nothing worse, Doma, than people getting introduced to this hobby and then they just have that bad experience and that's it. They're gone forever because of some dodgy people. So just be careful, ladies and gents. The best way to always collect is to buy the card that you want. And if you can't afford the card that you want, well, you know what? Either choose a different card or wait till you got enough money or figure out a plan to trade up to it and buy and sell up to it. That's what people do. Or,
Dodgy. James says dodgy people in the chat. Yeah, dodgy people on the podcast. So what are you going to do? But you make a very valid point, Source, and I think it's a good place to end the podcast. Buy what you love, buy what's affordable, don't do stupid stuff. And as we keep saying, if you ever have a question and we're never in doubt, you can always ask me or Source or someone else in the hobby that you've built a relationship for the advice.
People ask me questions. I actually don't have an answer, but it's always good. I know someone that might have a better, more informed answer than me, and then I can put you onto them and they can help you out. So we try to work as a team, and we always want to see people adding to their collections and not being ripped off. That's the aim of this hobby, and to enjoy it and have an outlet to talk about something that distracts from the monotonous world that we live in. Doma, there's cycles of shit that goes over and over and over again.
Oh, there's a lot of that.
Yep, that's for sure.
On that note, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom with the Great Man Source, the double coverage. Go buy your hobby hangout tickets in the description. Peace.
That's it. Peace out. Catch you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double coverage.